They shouldn't have given you Ashy Bloke's YouTube.
In a significant move forward in the march toward creating electronic circuits that are thousands of times smaller than today's most advanced technology, IBM is announcing a milestone in the ability to manipulate and understand matter at the atomic level. Scientists at IBM's Almaden Research Center in San Jose, California have for the first time demonstrated the ability to measure exactly how much force is needed to move individual atoms. Knowing the different forces required to move different atoms will allow IBM's nano-constructionists to figure out which materials should be used for building devices from the atom up. For example, a so-called sticky atom would be used for something that you don't want to move, like a base that you want to keep in one place, while a so-called slippery atom would be used when you want to build something like an on-off switch that needs to move with ease.
10 or 20 years ago, nobody could imagine that we would have today laptops, cell phones, and iPods. I think it's impossible to speculate what nanoelectronics will bring us in 10 or 20 years, but I'm sure it will change our world even more than the iPods we have today.
The force is measured via tiny changes in the frequency of a small quartz tuning fork. This exploration of the realm of atomic-scale structures and devices stands to impact the future direction of information technology. This is Jeff Gluck reporting.
So a nanoparticle is in essence a small package made out of little tiny molecules that can contain a drug inside of it. And that allows us to send that package to different places where we want that drug to go.
Dr. Yolanda Colson is an associate professor in thoracic surgery at BWH. She's one of several physicians who use nanoparticles to kill cancer cells. Her focus is on lung cancer. Her colleague, Dr. Omid Farakazad, runs the Laboratory of Nanomedicine, focusing on the use of nanoparticles to cure prostate cancer.
So we're able to engineer nanotechnology for cancer application that can identify the differences between a normal cell and a cancer cell and specifically kill the cancer cell while leaving a healthy cell alone.
These nanoparticles travel the same pathways in the body that a tumor cell takes.
The nanoparticles we've now developed basically carry a chemotherapy drug inside them and are able to recognize a cancer cell, bind to the surface of the cancer cell, get internalized, and then once inside of the cancer cell to release that chemotherapy drug over an extended period of time.
Then we can concentrate our drug, use less drug at that site, have less side effects, and not deliver it to places we don't need it. After surgery and the large tumors have been removed, it's really to prevent recurrence, either right at the site of the surgery or within the lymph nodes, which are the most common local areas of getting tumor back.
Dr. Colson says nanoparticles' usefulness extends way beyond treating lung or prostate cancer.
There's no reason that it wouldn't work in all cancers. It just would probably depend on us changing how we use it or working at a way to make it target specific tumor cells directly.
Nanoparticles are also being used to determine the course of disease by pathologists like Dr. Massimo Loda, who runs the Loda Lab at BWH.
The nanotechnology allows us to probe the tumor tissue for the presence or absence of biomarkers.
Biomarkers are the expressions of genes that a pathologist uses to determine a person's risk for certain diseases, like breast or prostate cancer. For his work, Dr. Loda uses a specific type of nanoparticle called a quantum dot.
If you're looking at tissue using quantum dots, you will see different areas of a particular tumor light up with different colors. And that gives us a wealth of information in terms of the expression of genes that we previously didn't know were there.
These tiny robots can kill cancer cells. Cancer survival rates could be greatly improved if scientists are successful in developing microscopic medical weapons that obliterate cancerous cells. Nanomachines may be tiny. 50,000 of them would fit across the diameter of human hair, but they have the potential to pack a mighty punch in the fight against cancer. Researchers at Durham University in the UK have used nanobots to drill into cancer cells and kill them in just 60 seconds. See, John, they already have done it. They are now experimenting on microorganisms and small fish before moving on to rodents. Clinical trials in humans are expected to follow, and it is hoped that the results may have potential to save millions of lives. The mechanics of nanobots: these minute molecules have components that enable them to identify and attach themselves. When activated by light, the nanobots' rotor-like chain of atoms begin to spin at an incredible rate, around 2 to 3 million times per second. This causes the nanobot to drill into the cancer cells, blasting it open. The study is still in its early stages, but researchers are optimistic that the potential to lead new types of cancer treatment. Dr. Powell of Durham University said once developed, this approach could provide a potential step change in non-invasive cancer treatment and greatly improve survival rates and patient welfare globally. Nanobots in our veins. The destructive properties of the nanobots make them perfect for killing cancer cells, but the technology can also be used to repair damaged or diseased tissue at the molecular level. In the future, these nanomachines could essentially patrol the circulatory system of the human body that could be used to detect specific chemicals or toxins, giving early warnings of organ failure or tissue rejection. Another potential function may involve taking biometric measurements to monitor a person's general health. There is a long way to go before this tiny technology enters the mainstream, but it has the potential to make massive impact on the world. Now, I've provided 2 videos basically certifying the one about cancer in I think that's in Utah. In Utah, that's a couple years old, 3 years old, 2015. Nanotechnology for Luddites like you, John Storm, who should know better by now. Nanotechnology was actually discovered in 1981 with the tunneling telescope by IBM. Now, the video I provided was when IBM demonstrated the technology in 1989. So the original discovery is almost 40 years old. The announcement and them having the actual machine is 30 years old. They already use it to do what? How do you think Intel can make its chips so small? It's nano chips so small. They have chips that they develop at the nanometer level with wafers. What do you think they make them with? Huh? Your chips that go into your cell phones, your iPods, your smartphones, your computers, your iPads, all that shit are made with nanotechnology. Your wafers, the wafers that they actually use are 15 nanometer processes. They're already doing it. The technology is already there. They're just now trying to put it into human beings. But the thing is, there's a difference between putting it in a machine and putting it in a human being, because there is called morality. They've already done it in rats. They've already done it in other things. They've already experimented with it in the lab. But if you make a mistake and you kill a human being, you set yourself back. Just like everything else, it takes time. When you put out a drug, it takes time for it to be approved. But they've already experimented on it. In fact, if you had the audacity to actually go on YouTube and look it up, you'd have found it going all the way back to 2007, 2008, that they're already using this stuff. It's not new. All I'm doing now is making people aware of what is coming. That's it. You call it fear porn, and you're a hard-headed motherfucker. There is a very fine line between a hard-headed motherfucker and a stupid motherfucker. A hard-headed motherfucker will say that I'm right and go out and prove somebody else wrong. How come they're not already using it to kill cancer? They already are using it to kill cancer, dumb motherfucker. That's what makes me mad. It's one thing if you disagree. If you disagree with my opinion, I'm fine with that. But the reason when I read an article straight out of a newspaper or straight out of a publication coming from people that are in universities, these aren't business people selling something. These are people in universities. using technology that's already here that you could look up, that they're using already all around the world in different forms. Now, I could have provided you, hundreds more articles and hundreds more videos that are already on YouTube. The thing is, it'll make the doggone video too long just to prove a point. Now, I probably would have blocked you, except my block list is getting way too long for people like you. If you don't want to be here, man, go someplace else. Go someplace else. This isn't just a channel to talk about women and bitches, man. It just isn't. I told you about the universal basic income. You had a whole bunch of cats talking about it. It would never go anywhere. It's just an idea that's not going to come, that they're not really behind it, that it'll never work. I never said it would work, but the thing is, I said that they have already decided that this is what they need to do, and they will start running trials because they have to know exactly how to implement it. That's 2 years ago. I showed you videos of them talking about it. I showed your vice president talking about it. Your ex-vice president talking about it. Other people, world leaders around the world talking about it. They're implementing it in India. Now it's mainstream and people are talking about it all over the world. But this is fear porn. And I'm too stupid to know that this isn't real. I don't mind you disagreeing, but come with something other than I don't believe it. Especially if it's an article that I just read. Especially if your disagreement is something that you could have looked up. I don't mind disagreement. I don't like dumb shit. And that's dumb shit. A political policy, whether it's taxes, welfare, whatever it is, that's debatable. That could be debated. That could be respectfully debated. But it was something that's obvious, like they're actually exploring this technology about nanobots. They've been talking about this shit for 20 years. It's not new. And something like this, that's what pisses me off. If it was brand new, I would expect that. If it was something that's absolutely brand new, that have never been talked about before, that wasn't on the record, that the processes weren't already in place, I could understand. But the technology is fucking 40 years old. It's like somebody arguing about fucking currency and doesn't even know what currency is. I give you the links. I give you the sites. Go look the shit up. At least go read the goddamn article for your goddamn self before you even disagree with the goddamn thing. That's why I put it up. I used to just mention it and discuss it, and people gave me so much goddamn flack that I didn't know what I was fucking talking about. Where'd you get that from? So I just started reading the goddamn articles. I used to put in links. People didn't read the articles. You would disagree with it. Wouldn't even hit the link to read the damn thing. So I actually read the goddamn article verbatim out so that people will not dispute it. I've read it to you. You don't believe what I read? Hit the link and go read it. I don't mind disagreement. I hate stupid disagreement. If you're too goddamn dumb to read, you're too goddamn lazy to type the shit in and look it up on YouTube, then I can't help you. And this is not the place for you. And you're probably right. I should have just deleted the comment. But then you niggas talk about I delete your comments. You say stupid shit and you think the stupid shit's supposed to stand. I have to read this shit. It's bad enough the black women coming over with their dumb asses. They're no reading, no understanding, feeling asses, and have dumb motherfuckers come in, put dumb shit like this without even doing the goddamn research. When the motherfucking technology is 40 goddamn years old, it's not fucking new. Self-driving cars are not fucking new. The DOD's been experimenting with self-driving cars for 25 years. It's not new. You think that since you know it all and your life hasn't been affected yet, that it's not going to happen to you until it does. BGS, you full of shit. It'll never happen. They're gonna never have self-driving cars on the street till they start changing your streets. To get ready for what? Self-driving cars. Oh, Congress is never going to let it happen. Blah, 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 until they change the goddamn law. Congress says I want 250,000 self-driving cars per year, starting in 2018. Oh, they never gonna have self-driving trucks, blah, 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 until the goddamn truckers union has to go lobby to Congress to keep self-driving trucks off the roads, or at least limit them. Oh, BGS, they ain't never gonna replace us with robots in factories because it's gonna ruin the economy. Donald Trump just passed the bill, and guess what everybody's doing? They're using that goddamn money to do what? Automate your goddamn jobs. And it was obvious to see, why is he giving them this big ass tax cut? And what do you think they're going to do with it? Oh, BGS, you putting up fear porn. Motherfucker, wouldn't you like to know that your pension are in trouble and they're getting ready to dump your jobs before it actually happens so you can make a goddamn move? Is that fear porn? Or would you rather me talk about how bitches are fucking up the world? John Storm, I don't know your name, dude. I don't know where you come from. I don't even know what your business is. You try to seem like you're a fairly intelligent guy. I'm sure Google, if you can find YouTube, you find me on YouTube and you listen to me, you can hit the link. You can go find out if this is an actual thing or not. You're probably a flat earther. That's what you sound like. You're a flat earther. There's no such thing as stars. We never went to the moon. There's never been a man in space. There's nothing up there. It's all just projected hype. It's all a cartoon. It's all a TV show. None of this is true. Everything that you read, everything you see is fake news. If that's what you believe, dude, there's plenty of sites for you to go to about fake news. If you don't want to open your mind to the reality, because everything that I've said on this channel in the last 2 years, if you go back, all those videos up there, haven't taken them down. I have some women have taken them down, but they're all still there. Everything that I've said for the past 2 years has already started to come true. Even down to Donald Trump being elected, which nobody believed. I told you it was either the deep state or the Russians that were going to take out Hillary Clinton. Guess who they keep investigating? Chinese ain't going to never take over. The Chinese are going to implode. Chinese are going to... And every article says the Chinese are not only taking over, they're running away from us. White supremacy is never going to fall. Blah, 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 blah. Even the white supremacists don't believe that shit no more. Black people are the only person that believe this white supremacy will last forever. When are y'all going to stop? If you don't want to open your mind, you don't want to expand your worldview, this is not the place for you, dude. You say, I'm acting like a person that gets tired of seeing this shit on a daily basis. It's bad enough the white guys come over when I talk about politics. It's bad enough the women come over when I talk about Section 8 or welfare, that kind of stuff. It's bad enough they come by. Normally, I would just read the article and let it be. People want me to give my opinion at the end of the article. The articles are just there for reference so that you can see how this stuff is being built step by step, not for you to fall out on the flopping couch. Now, the John Storm, the goddamn question that you fucking asked, you could have answered it your goddamn self. I would have said you're a millennial, but a millennial probably would have got on their smartphone and actually looked it up. I have heard about this stuff coming 25 years ago. But just like anything else, it takes time for the build out, for them to perfect this stuff. A nanobot is not new. They built nanobots back in the 90s. Those little machines they built back in the 90s. They could have done that back in the 90s, but like they said, there's certain things that the body will reject. They've already experimented on animals. They've actually experimented on some things on human beings, just like the video I put up. But just like anything else, any medicine, the FDA is not going to pass it readily because a cancer patient will make you $300,000. If you use a nanobot, it's going to cost $20,000. Dinosaurs don't like to get replaced. I don't want to flood my channel just to prove a point to one person, because there's too much other. I get stuff every day. Every day. about politics, about technology, about finance, cryptocurrencies, every day, about male and female relationships, about MGTOW stuff, about IDMOR stuff, every fucking day. I could literally flood the channel with at least 20 videos every day if I had time. But I'm taking time to make this video to prove it to cats like you. Because you're fucking lazy. It's not that you're hard-headed, you're lazy. Because if you weren't fucking lazy, you could find out for yourself. I took 5 minutes and found, what, 20 fucking articles? And 30 videos? Come on, man. Be better than that. Either be better than that, go someplace else. Or you could block me and I'll unsubscribe. Save yourself, save my finger from blocking you, so I don't have to add to my block list. Man, just unsubscribe and go someplace else. I've always said this channel was built for 500 people. I got 13,000 more subs than that. I get almost 300 people on a hangout. I don't mind disagreement. I don't like stupidity, especially from somebody that's been around for quite a while. You know how this works. And if you were better than me, you'd prove it. Had a whole bunch of motherfuckers talk shit. I sent them about 30 straight articles in a row. Where's your email? Here's 30 articles. Read them. And on top of that, here's about 3 or 4 books you need to read on the subject. When you finish that, come back. But I know people don't come back because they're too goddamn lazy. You want me to shove it down your throat. That's really what it is. I'm too lazy to goddamn learn on my own, and I don't believe it. So BGS shoved this shit down my throat so I'll believe it. Make me believe it. And only one thing, you're not paying me and you're not fucking me. Disagree, but don't be lazy. That's all I'm saying. I don't want to block you, but it irritates me for people to be just post stupid shit, man. Just, it's not even I disagree. Oh, I disagree. You acting like one. Dude, if you had to read stupid shit all day long, you'd get irritated too. Anyway, that's all I got. This is BGS out, man. I'm done for the night. That's my last rant. Peace.